Welcome to the game reviews where the score doesn't matter. Like your wallet on Valentine's Day. But come be a part of the jury as we take Digimon World Next Order through gracious judgment. Digimon World Next Order was developed by Bandai Namco Entertainment, available for the PlayStation 4 and Vita for the price tag of $60. Story first. The story starts off just like any other Digimon TV series that I've ever watched, which really is only the first two generations. This time though, you get two Digimon to help you out instead of just one. You will run into some other humans along the way, fairly early in the game to be honest, and you may or may not have ever met them before. That's up for you to get to find out. Even though I do have a very limited understanding of the Digimon universe, it does seem like your typical Digimon story, at least from my perspective. Big Baddie wants to bring down the digital world to its utter destruction, with a few twists along the way. Gameplay. Now here's where I had the majority of the issues with the game. Let's start with the combat. It's different. Very different. And I applaud you for trying something different. But when things that are different aren't good, it falls flat on its face. You see, it's 2vx in a circle, and you can preset your Digimon's combat tendencies to either conserve MP, so you can call all the shots, or let them use as much MP as they want, leaving you to just simply spam X, giving you order points, which will pretty much allow you to destroy almost anything in one shot once you have enough to get your super off. The combat system simply did not feel very good to me. Even when I got toward the end of the game, it still felt weird. I'm not a huge fan of a game playing the game for me. Would have preferred either a turn-based combat or controlling the Digimon myself. For example, controlling the movement along with the attacks. That way I have the ability to dodge incoming abilities from the enemy. I would just get so frustrated when one of my Digimon who should have been attacking from afar was up in their face, in turn getting his face smacked in, while the guy that should have been up in the enemy's face smacking their face was sitting in the back like me as a kid playing outfield looking up at airplanes. The difficulty of the game will be decided by how smart your Digimon decide to be. You have no control over that. There's really only a couple fights in the game that are actually going to give you difficulty. The rest of the time is like I said, your Digimon decide they don't want to do anything. Do you all remember the little Digipets they had? Well, they still have them actually, but I remember having one way back in the day, where you just took care of it. It was like one of those little nano pets, but for Digimon. That kind of gameplay is in this game. You have to feed it and take it to the bathroom, which in theory sounds really fun. But when Agumon has to take a dump 3 times a day, it gets rather annoying. One day in the digital world is around 22 minutes of our time. So I really just felt like I was being interrupted way too much from the game, and it just became a chore. I didn't want to do it anymore, and one time I even decided not to because I wanted to keep pushing forward in the story, and I'd ran out of portable toilets. Well, there's consequences of that crap, and is actually integrated into the Digivolution part of the gameplay. I mean, think about it. Like I said, the average day in the digital world is 22 minutes long, and when you're having to take time 3 times out of that 22 minutes to take them to the freaking bathroom, you decide for yourself how annoying that is. Another part of the game that I felt very burdensome and annoying was that the whole Digimon have a lifespan, and it's extended based on how much you digivolve them. But when you take into consideration how long it takes to get their stats up in the gym for them in order to even digivolve, you don't get to play that much with them before they're dead, and you're hatching a new egg, reviving them into something else. You put all this work into your Digimon to train them and make them as powerful as possible, to only have them die on you in roughly 2 to 4 hours. Though toward the end of the game, if you do allocate those certain points into skills that increase lifespan and increase training results in the gym, they will last a lot longer. But it shouldn't take half the game for you to finally start to be able to enjoy it because you get more time with your Digimon. That's what this game's all about, is the Digimon. I don't want to see my guy die every few hours, man. I actually want to spend time with the little guy. I would have preferred getting to keep him the whole game, honestly. And yes, once they die, they do become an egg, hatch them again, and you gotta go through the whole process, starting them as a baby, into the normal, into the champion, into the mega, ultimate. Like, the process just keeps repeating over and over, and you're a freaking sissy if you're not a champion. Now, going back to the skill points real quick, I actually do feel like there was a lot to choose from, and every single one of them felt viable to the gameplay. I felt like I needed them all, and not just focus on a certain few and, good game. There's skills to help you in combat, survival, and overall just helping you be a better tamer. The map size, though, is very, very small, but there's a lot of small ones. But what's weird is even though it's a very small map, it takes you forever to run across this stupid thing because of how slow you run. And it's just completely almost void of anything. You're just running and bored because there's nothing to look at, nothing very appealing. Maybe toward later parts of the game or certain maps at the beginning are kind of cool, but there's really nothing there to keep your attention as you're running through this map. I found myself very bored as I was traveling to certain places. I mean, sure, there's quite a few maps that have a lot of enemies on them, but when you can just simply run around and in between them dodging like you're a football player running for the touchdown, it's easy. You can avoid almost every fight if you want to. And most of your quests are going to consist of fetch quests or battles, which is pretty much played for you. The game also doesn't do a very good job of explaining certain things. For example, let's say the food. The meat, to be more specific. Instead of telling you in the item's description that it actually adds to the Digimon's weight, increases mood, and greatly fulfills hunger, you have to go to a Digimon randomly placed in the training gym to explain to you anytime that you might forget or can't remember what a certain food does. Why not put that in the item's description? And the UI of the game is actually very pretty, but it's a complete chore to navigate and isn't very responsive at all. Graphics and animations. The game actually performed well in its own right, though it did have a few small frame drops here and there, but nothing too hefty. But where it really got let down was the animations. They just felt really bad, to be completely honest. And at times it even looked like they were sliding across the world instead of walking or running. I mean, overall, it kind of felt below average on the graphics side. Sound, music, and voice.
We can take it from here. You just need to give us commands as usual.
The sound effects were actually borderline non-existent. Most of this game was just music, which really sounded like elevator music. Listen here to one of the awesome starting scenes of the game when you cut out the music. I'd be willing to put $10 on the line that you were thinking you were going to hear an awesome sound effect to go with that blast shooting, right? Yeah, me too. Now, the voice acting can actually be pretty good at times. There were a lot of familiar voices, but it does not matter how good voice acting may be if the material that they have to work with isn't up to par. So let's give it a 472,000, just because I can. And just to throw my opinion out there, I do not believe this is a $60 game. I do not think there is enough quality there to justify a AAA price. I mean, yeah, this game can give you more than 25 hours worth of gameplay, easy, especially if you like the raising Digimon part. But ultimately, it is up to you. It's your satisfaction that matters, not mine. You're the one putting out the money, so I hope that whatever I've given you, I'm not giving you spoilers, that's for you to get to figure out. But everything that I could without spoiling the game for you, I hope that you figured out if you would like the game or not. I do always try to say, watch another review or two, just because different opinions are a good thing. Different reviewers may see and look for different things. So until next time, you all take care, have a good week, and always remember, game with grace.